Risk Strike, Fast and Fierce World Domination. These are our thoughts after several plays. I got Fenny Rob over here, Super John over there, TNY over here. That's right. So we just finished a game, the three of us. I played Risk for a lot of hours, probably weeks worth of my life as a child. We didn't have much back then. But
there was no internet, no electricity.
Right. But we did have those plastic pieces and those cards, and we spent hours basically wasting our time. We didn't know what we were missing. Then you have this game come along. It claims it's Risk 30 minutes in a box. It plays 2 to 5 players, and I got to say, they delivered.
Well, they delivered. We actually saw on our last game, I put the timer on, 30 minutes, gave them 30 seconds, plus or minus, we finished
right under.
Literally at 29 seconds.
So the question would be, like, with 2 players, it's fairly quick. I would say within 15 minutes. With 3 players, we got 30. With 5 players, I could see it dragging out a little bit longer.
I'm not sure I would want to play it with 5 players. I think 4 would be okay, probably. And I think with 5 players, you would have more of the inner negotiation.
Constant war, constant battling each other.
The problem is, if you help someone else, then you end up becoming weaker.
Yeah, it costs you a lot to help someone else. So, as we learned in the last game, I tried to help Tony, and then Tony ended up hurting me.
He did. He bit you like a snake. So,
like a snake that he is.
Short form here, you've got these 6 tokens that represent the different continents, and as soon as a player gets 2 of those, they win the game. And the way that's going to happen is they've got these certain things like Europe requires 5 cards. As soon as I have 5 Europe cards, I get this here. I don't lose this unless somebody else manages to get 5 cards, which is going to require them to take some from me, because we'll tell you, the way it works is you've got, just like regular Risk, you got Australia and South America. They're going to be the smallest, and these, it only takes 3 to get, and there are only 4 total cards of those in the deck. And Africa's got 4. Go ahead.
Well, I would say to interject. In that way, to me, it resembles regular Risk in that those smaller continents, of South America and Australia, that's where you would get your quote-unquote extra troops in the old way. And this way, they're easier win tokens. So they're still sort of a quick, easy way to start an advantage in the game rather than trying to take the larger continents.
Well, the problem with this game, though, I guess, is that you can just have South America and Australia and win the game. It's over. It's not gonna be easy to get those if people are paying attention.
So I will say one of the good things about this game in terms of you can claim those 2 smaller ones, but statistically in this stack of cards, you're not going to get those. Like you could, if you had a really great couple of draws, you could get those in a couple of easy turns. You could, but most likely you're going to get these Asias, and that's why Asia takes so many cards. But Asia can also attack so many others. So Asia becomes, you could use it as a fodder for I want to attack other people, or I want to win Asia and then use it to attack. But that's a long game. This isn't a long game.
Right, it's going to be tough. Maybe if you luck draw. So the way it works is this is 8 to win the token. There are 12 of those in the deck. There are 9 North Americas. There are 7 Europes. There are 6 Africas, and then 4 of each of Australia and South America. So you kind of know what's out there. And once those cards have been drawn, if you get to that, we didn't get that far. The game ended. It was getting close, though.
Yeah.
Once those cards are out there, they never go back. They never get discarded. They always go to another player. Or, so when you're attacking, it's the same as old-fashioned Risk. You have a number of troops. Troops are signified by both the number of cards from the place you're attacking. So if you're attacking from Asia and you have 5 cards, you have 5, meaning as the attacker, you roll 3 dice.
And here, I have like my North Americas here are 6 cards, and so
but you still only get to roll 3.
Like traditional Risk, you maximum 3 attack dice, maximum 2 defender dice.
There you go, and you match up the highest. Ties go to the defender. But as the attacker, both sides go through their troops first. And once those are gone, though, you start losing the cards if you keep going. And so if he keeps attacking, if the attacker takes a card from the defender, the defender has to give the card to the attacker.
Directly. Mm-hmm.
But if the attacker loses, it goes in the middle and can be drawn. Because at the beginning of every player's turn, they get to draw a combination. It's 2 total cards, either continents and or tactics cards.
And if I would stop for a minute, just because the tactics is maybe someone say they're mostly battle cards.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to help you in battle. So it's rather
expand is one that lets you.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of those in the whole deck, but it lets you acquire
maybe more cards.
But
generally, they're useful for battle, and so that's rather than having numbers of troops or pieces that you would use in a traditional Risk board game. Now you have these cards that give you your version of troops. So just like every round you would round the number of countries divided by 3, I think was the number, gives you your actual individual troops. Okay, well now you always get cards. Now you get variation. Do you want territory or do you want battle cards? So these battle cards are sort of a substitute in my mind for the actual individual troops you would normally get in a Risk board game.
Yeah, and I mean, how do you think, I mean, that's the basics of the game. And one other thing too is just once you get the token, so for instance, at some point in our last game, TNY had all of North America and then some. You don't lose that token unless someone else has 6 North America. So it's not like if you go down to 0, you still keep the token.
Yeah.
Now, odds are someone else is going to have a bunch of them, but in our last game, we each had Africa. It was split pretty evenly. Everybody had some, and there's only 6 cards, so it kind of got a little bit, tense. And everybody had at least one domination in the last game.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And it came down to the wire. So this one captures any tension that Risk has, but in a much more compact way without any of the boring parts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so this game does a good job of, like, I love a machine building game because I'm a machine builder. Right. So I want to build those machines and then begin domination. This game does not allow you to do that. Mostly, you can to a degree,
much as a traditional Risk.
but it balances everything out with the whole Risk concept of dice, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much you've built; those dice still control your fate.
Right. Yes. They're basically re-rolls. Right. It's basically giving you a chance.
You come back like
re-roll.
You could have everything set up perfectly and just roll trash.
Yeah, but it is luck based for sure.
Right.
Always has been with dice and with cards and regular Risk. It's just now you put them all down.
It's condensed.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's if you like Risk. But you don't like the time it takes.
It does take
this
time.
Is definitely it's the same concept. It is compartmentalized, and it all comes down to that. One thing I will note is that this is akin to Architect's Seven Wonders.
Really?
In terms of not gameplay at all, but like a 2-player game is very different than your maximum player game. Your maximum player game is a completely different approach and strategy than just 2 players. And so you got to learn those strategies with just 2 players versus the maximum 5 players. A 5-player game is I can tell you it's going to be very different here. We played with 3, which is a good blend.
But it was very different from 2. Even then, I watched the 2 games you all played, and then when I popped in here, it was very different.
I think I like it fine at 2, and I'm sure we'll try to get a recording of a 2-player game at some point. But I did think that 3 players was a little bit more exciting to me.
It was.
Because of the ability to help, and also the timing of I can watch. There's more strategy regarding when to attack because I want Tony to weaken you before it's my turn.
That you can have
In the 2-player
cards
game, you really
in the middle.
don't have that.
You want him to lose the cards in the middle that I don't want, so that you can get on.
Right, exactly. And you have a chance of someone not paying attention to what you're looking for briefly. Like I didn't notice that you had Africa and South America and I'm like that can end so quickly.
Well, I had Asia. I wanted to take Africa, but you only had one, and he only had one. Okay, well, why don't I want to attack one of you to gain just one of those cards?
Yeah.
It's a
longer term strategy, which is hard to do in this 30-minute game.
Well,
30-minute game.
30-minute game. But I'm calling this like excellent for what it's doing. It absolutely
for a
delivers.
game like this in 30 minutes that you can take in a box like this. Anywhere you go,
I say get it.
Worth playing.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree with that?
No, 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Good
Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hold for sound.
But the person driving that truck has a big penis.
I thought it was somebody stealing your truck.
The person who has that truck definitely has a big penis.
All right.